Hi, I'm Amber. I'm from the Student Music Network. Very excited to speak to you. I got asked recently what my top five albums were um, of this year, and Congregation was up there. Um, I absolutely love all your work. I feel like the concept of this album is about losing faith in religion, but it feels like in Congregation you're preaching your own sermons and talking about the things that matter to you. Why is it important to do this? Talk openly about mental health.
I think just because, it wasn't spoken about for so long, and I think it did a lot of people a lot of damage. Like, for example, when I was growing up, I can remember, I didn't know what mental health was until I was so much older, and I could have used knowing, what mental health was a lot younger. So I think it's really important to talk about it openly, make sure that no one feels like uncomfortable or ashamed about it. Like, it's not talking about something that makes people feel ashamed and makes people think it's something weird.
Yeah,
Whereas it's important to talk about it for sure. I like how much more open we are nowadays about mental health. I think it's helpful, even though the government are shit and do fuck all about it.
yeah, I get that. I get that. I was gonna touch on a few things. Rishi Sunak talking about opposing trans laws at the moment. Um,
Hmm.
how do you feel about that, and what can we do to kind of talk about that sort of stuff?
I mean, it's tricky because
Yeah,
it's sort of jumping on that bandwagon because there's a whole culture war right now, and it's a way for
yeah,
him to gain popularity and get votes. But the alternative to that in the mainstream is that there isn't one, really. So I think it's sort of part of a wider thing where the working class in particular needs to organise to get some sort of political voice, um, and within that have these discussions about things like transphobia and racism and yada yada yada, and how we can improve these things politically.
that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, on a personal note, I want to say that as a gender fluid person, I found especially your reincarnate EB very kind of affirming. Um, why is talking about gender and gender convention such a big theme in your music?
I think it's because we're all definitely like we're all still young. We're all still on this like kind of journey of figuring ourselves out and kind of like again, it's like this was something that when I was younger I wasn't like privy to. So I'm quite late in the game to kind of figuring out my journey and myself and who I am and where I fit in. So I think that definitely comes through in our music. And yeah, I think it definitely shows.
Yeah, I I completely agree, and I feel like you guys are really kind of stepping up the game for the young punk scene and for the younger generation. How important is it to kind of give these young people a voice in a society where kind of we are governed by the older generation, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I think it's like
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think
yeah.
perhaps part of the reason that there is sort of younger people, sort of like not a punk resurgence in a way, and I think the reason is that the young people at the moment are more like, I don't know, they seem pissed off, like
Yeah, I get that.
like stuff with the environment, and yeah, that sounded
I
a lot
saw
of them.
I saw like a tweet. I think it was like a popular Tory uh, MP, and she was basically saying that we need to like raise the voting age, and that's because they're terrified of like young people. They're terrified of us because they say we are, I don't know, quote woke,
Yeah,
but they're terrified like because this generation now and the one coming is a generation for the most part of people that want people to be able to be themselves, and they're terrified of that. So I think it's definitely the most important thing to kind of try and inspire and yeah, be something good for that generation to look up to, I guess.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I find your album rather personal and reflective, but I also feel that it's centered towards a wider audience, as with kind of your album title, Congregation. Um,
Yeah.
I wanted to know personally, who are you kind of writing and presenting this album for? Um, who are you speaking to?
I mean, I guess nobody and everybody kind of. It's like we didn't be like, okay, this song's for this person. This I think it's kind of just whoever wants to listen to it and whoever takes what they take it. I and maybe ourselves. I think writing the songs that we write when we're in, like, the practice room and we're writing, I'm writing for me more
Yeah,
than anybody, like, I guess.
We do right for ourselves.
Yeah, and
Oh,
that might sound selfish, I don't know,
no,
but
it's fine. It feels like you're writing kind of for yourself, but what you are writing is kind of a cultural consciousness in a way. You're
yeah,
reflecting on what other people are saying. No, I completely agree.
yeah.
I understand that. Um, I mean, on a lighter note, I love the fact that you're getting out there. You're kind of one of my favorite up and coming bands at the moment. I'm genuinely stoked to talk to you guys.
Thank you.
I'm amazed that I mean you were at Download last year, but you're at Download this year.
Yeah,
You've toured with My Chemical Romance, kind of. I mean, what's next for Witch Fever? Where do you want to go? Kind of, what people do you want to appeal to? Kind of,
yeah.
what's the vision? I know that's a big question, but what is it?
I guess what's next is we're doing 5 dates with Poppy, like, over the UK, which is cool. After that, like, I just want to carry on, gigging, touring, traveling, meeting people. I think, like, some of the people we've met over however long we've been doing this, you meet so many cool people, and you meet people that like your music and, like, are inspired by it, and that's like really, really honoring. And yeah, I just want to keep on doing that. Really, obviously, I want to tour America.
Yeah,
I want to go far, but touring, yeah, that's what it's about for me.